Hello, love. Tawny Janae here. I'm super excited to be together just for a short amount of time, but for a good time. This class is all about the health and the openness of our shoulders. You don't need much equipment, just this teeny tiny little block and some space to lay down. Let's get started. Lay this block down. Now, the block has two settings. Well, it has three settings, but we're really going to be using two, possibly the third one if you're feeling open to it at the end. We're going to start on the second setting, yes? And you're going to lay the second setting down long ways, so it's going to match the length of your spine. So once this block is down, you're going to situate your butt cheeks right in front of it. Try to get your spine in line with the block. And it might be a little bit crunchy at first. You might not get it right the first time, but that's okay. We're just going to mess around and find out. When you do eventually lay down on the block, make sure that the block is flush with your shoulders. So it's not supporting your neck at all. It's supporting your shoulders, which should feel really, really nice. Now, my neck is getting a nice opening too, which is absolutely glorious. With your legs, you can keep them just as they are, like mine are, which are in a supported bridge position. They're just knees bent, feet on the floor. Or you can take a bound angle where the soles of the feet touch and the knees splay wide just to get the hips involved if that's what you're into. If you want more support, you can stay up. No problem, babe. So now with the arms, to get into the shoulders, you can start by extending the arms up overhead, nothing too crazy, and then bend cactus the elbows in towards the side bodies. Again, extend the arms straight overhead, really reaching as far back as possible. You can even look to the fingers and towards the floor. Now, as we cactus the arms, keeping the elbows super low. Notice the more I reach the elbows, hands, arm bones down towards the floor, the easier, the bigger the stretch is. So again, it is an easy movement. It looks really easy, but it's also extraordinarily rewarding. So again, the more the hands and the arm bones are reaching down, the more I'm feeling it in the front of the shoulders. This movement that we're doing is lubricating the shoulder girdle, yes? You can kind of feel it. It might feel a little crunchy, but the more you do it, the easier it gets, the deeper you can get into the shoulders. Now find a place that feels pretty crunchy, like, oof, right here is my spot. I'm going to stay here, marinate, luxuriate here just for a few breaths. You can reach the hands a little closer to the earth. You can even relax them. Start to focus and incorporate the breath here. Take a big, full belly breath, inflating the belly button lifts, the ribs, all the way into the crown of the head. Breathe in, saturate the lungs with oxygen today. Oh, hello, breath. And when you're ready, release. Very slowly. Just paying attention to the breath, breathing in and out. Take two more breaths just like that. Breathing, lubricating the lungs as the shoulders open here. How nice, killing two birds with one stone. Or loving, let's make it positive. Loving two birds with one stone, yes. Glorious. Start to bring motion back into the arms, reaching them into the side bodies and then back overhead. Maybe landing with the hands overhead, opening and closing the palms a few times. Now to roll off the block to come into a different setting, I want you to do this really unique, crunchy, awkward thing with me. Are you ready? You're going to knock your knees to the right, get your shoulder to the right, use your left hand in front of your face. So you're just rolling off the block. I don't want you to strain and stress the neck by reaching up and trying to crunch. So every time we're going to lean off to the side of the block. Yes. So the second setting of this block, and the second version is just simply twisting the block to where now it's framing your shoulders. It's long ways on your shoulders, supporting more of your shoulders and less of your spine. And we're going to do the same exact thing, but it's going to feel a little different. And by the end of this class, your shoulders and arms will be so lubricated and open. It's such a glorious way to start the day or to stack before a workout because you want mobility, right? You want blood flow there. Mobility is everything, y'all. We want to keep it as we age. So relax onto the mat. See how that, not the mat, the block, babe. See how that feels. Now, if you need to have a lower setting, you can always flip it down to a lower setting. Every body is different. Every day is different. You just don't know. But again, we're going to do that same thing where we lift the arms overhead, really reach and extend, and then squeeze elbows into side body. So you're extending the arms overhead and then cactusing the arms. That's it. It's a very simple movement. But as you're doing this, I want you to invite the hands even closer to the earth, to the mat, to the carpet, wherever you're at, baby girl. I also refer to everything as a she, a baby girl. I just love it. Okay, there's a divine feminine in all of us. Let's fucking go. So really squeeze the hands towards the earth. And then squeeze elbows into side body. Squeeze her in. For a few rounds here, extending and bending. And notice the difference between having the block support more of the spine versus the shoulder girdle. You might not notice the difference right away, but the more you do this and switch between the two, the more attuned you get to the sensations. Again, just like last time, find that crunchy spot where you're like, okay, sensation is increased, the spice level is up, and stay here and then try to relax. Make this a passive experience. Again, the feet can be firmly rooted on the mat with the knees bent for that support. Or maybe you decide, I do want the hips involved, and you can bring the soles of the feet to touch, the knees splay wide. Here is where we pay attention to and start to invite more of the breath. So take 3 full body breaths just like we did in the other position. Filling up totally and completely, maybe marinating in between the space between the inhales and the exhales. Now I have to do this with my hair down because when I have a high pony or a bun, it gets in the way and doesn't allow for as much opening. Now, if I have my hair down, my head can touch the floor. I have more range. So just a little side note for all the ladies who have their hair up, take it down. You'll get a lot more out of your time on the mat. Or on the wood where I am. You don't even need a mat. You just need a block. Last breath. When you're finished with that cycle, extend the arms straight one more time. Reach hands to the earth. And then elbows come back into the side bodies. Again, we're going to come off to the side. If your feet are in bound angle, you can heel toe the feet apart so the knees rise very slowly. Knock the knees to the right. Shimmy off the block to the right. It might be kind of awkward, but it's very thoughtful and intentional, and I highly recommend it. Try to come on to a higher setting. There is no narrative that says you need to be on the highest setting to get the most out of your time on the block here. But if you do have more flexibility, try on the highest setting. We're going to do it long ways. So it's like this for me. The Aloe Yoga logo is facing me, and I'm going to lay down on the mat. It's okay if it takes you a few times to get it right when you lay down because it's a small surface area. Right now, I'm a little too low on the block. I want to shimmy my body down to where the block is flush with my shoulders. Now I can relax back. Now, this is a way more sensation in both my neck, which is amazing, and my shoulders. The reason to do this is to open the front of the neck so we can open up the front chain because fuck. Now yeah. So I'm feeling that. Okay. So I'm feeling it in my neck and deeply in my upper back and shoulders. The reason to do this is to open the front chain, the anterior chain of the body. A lot of the times I'm a little hunched over while driving, while cooking, looking down at things, reading, journaling. So now I get to open the front. Now, it's a lot of sensation, but we're going to just hang out here because we're only here for a good time, not a long time. So again, start that movement, extending hands overhead. And then squeeze, reaching elbows into the side body. At any point, you can opt out by rocking the knees to the right, slowly rolling off to the right side, using your right arm to support you. But the longer you stay, the more benefits you get here. And it's a slight inversion. It's really, really, really nice. Taking a few more rounds wherever you are on the mat, maybe finding that crunchy spot. Do you hear that epic bird? We're in Australia. There are some really cool animals here. Everything's kind of trying to kill you, but it's also really pretty to look at from a distance. So stay here, marinate here, find that crunchy spot, and then breathe. 3 big, beautiful, full body breaths here. Trying to relax the muscles that surround your eyebrows. You're releasing your tongue, your jaw. Enjoying the sounds of nature. And then when you are ready, you can rock the knees to the right. Use your right arm to support you. And then have your left hand ready. So that is it. That is your delicious, quick shoulder girdle opening. It's really healthy for your shoulders. It's really nourishing. And know that this series is a part of this class rather, is a part of a greater series. So there's 4 classes that are like this, very nourishing, slow. And then there are 4 very demanding classes where you get to find out what you're capable of, sweat, sculpt, lift the body using just this block. I freaking love blocks. If you want to learn how to use them, keep taking these classes with me. But I appreciate you spending time with me. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all the things if you like what's going on here. And I hope you have the most beautiful day. Namaste, Tawny Janae.